Imagine this. It's 1775. A farmer in Massachusetts grabs his musket, not because he wants war, but because red-coated soldiers are marching through his backyard to seize gunpowder and arrest leaders. One spark, one shot on a misty dawn road in Lexington, and suddenly, 13 scattered colonies, farmers, merchants, lawyers, enslaved people, shopkeepers, are hurled into the fight of their lives against the most powerful empire on earth. What if the birth of the greatest democracy in history wasn't a neat story of heroes and tea parties, but a brutal, messy, world-shaking rebellion that almost failed a dozen times? What if the ideas that still light up your phone screen, freedom, rights, no kings ruling without consent, were born in blood, betrayal, freezing winters, and impossible odds? This is the American Revolution, reconstructed not from dusty textbooks, but from the raw voices of the people who lived it. Welcome to the story that made America, and changed the world forever. After the French and Indian War ends in 1763, Britain is drowning in debt. They had just kicked France out of North America, but victory cost a fortune. So Parliament turns to the colonies. You're British subjects. You benefited from protection. Now pay up. Sugar Act, Stamp Act, Townshend Acts, taxes on paper, paint, glass, tea, without a single colonial vote in Parliament. No taxation without representation becomes the cry echoing from Boston to Charleston. Colonists burn effigies. They boycott British goods. Women spin their own cloth, calling it homespun. Samuel Adams organizes protests. Patrick Henry thunders in Virginia, "Give me liberty or give me death." But the flashpoint comes in Boston, 1770. A mob taunts British soldiers. Snowballs fly. Someone yells, "Fire." 5 colonists lie dead in the snow. The Boston Massacre. Paul Revere engraves a dramatic print showing innocent victims mowed down by ruthless redcoats. Propaganda gold. Rage. Then 1773, the Tea Act. Britain tries to bail out the struggling East India Company by forcing cheap tea on the colonies, with a tax still attached. Colonists see it as another slap. On December 16th, in the dead of night, Sons of Liberty, disguised as Mohawk warriors, board 3 ships and dump 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor. The Boston Tea Party. Britain responds with fury. The intolerable acts. Close the port. Quarter troops in homes. Strip Massachusetts of self-government. The colonies unite. First Continental Congress meets in 1774. They pledge support. They prepare for the worst. April 19, 1775. British General Gage sends troops from Boston to seize Colonial arms in Concord and arrest Sam Adams and John Hancock in Lexington. Paul Revere and William Dawes ride through the night. The British are coming. At Lexington Green, 77 Minutemen face 700 redcoats. Captain John Parker, "Stand your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon. But if they mean to have a war, let it begin here." A shot rings out. History's shot heard round the world. 8 colonists dead. The British march on to Concord, but militia swarm from every farm. At the North Bridge, they fire back. British retreat under fire all the way to Boston, losing nearly 300 men. The war has begun. The Second Continental Congress appoints George Washington commander of the Continental Army. Tall, dignified, a Virginia planter with military experience from the French and Indian War. He takes command outside Boston in July 1775. The siege drags on. In March 1776, Washington fortifies Dorchester Heights with cannons dragged from Fort Ticonderoga by Henry Knox in a heroic winter trek. British General Howe evacuates Boston. First American victory. But the British strike back hard. Summer 1776, the largest invasion force ever sent across the Atlantic, 32,000 troops, Hessian mercenaries, 73 ships, lands in New York. Washington's army is outnumbered, outgunned, inexperienced. Battle of Long Island, disaster. Washington barely escapes with his army across the East River under cover of fog. New York falls. The British chase the rebels across New Jersey. By December, Washington's force is down to about 5,000 ragged men. Enlistments expire. Desertions skyrocket. Many think the cause is lost. Thomas Paine publishes The American Crisis. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink. But he that stands it now, deserves the love and thanks of man and woman.
Washington reads it to his troops. Then, on Christmas night 1776, in sleet and freezing darkness, they cross the icy Delaware River. Surprise attack on Trenton. Hessian garrison captured. A week later, Princeton. 2 quick wins. Hope flickers back to life. 1777. The year of decision. British plan 2 prongs. General Burgoyne from Canada down Lake Champlain to cut off New England. General Howe from New York to seize Philadelphia, the rebel capital. Howe takes Philadelphia after Brandywine and Germantown. Congress flees. But Burgoyne's campaign unravels. American forces under Horatio Gates and Benedict Arnold trap him at Saratoga. October 17, 1777. Burgoyne surrenders 5,800 troops. Turning point. Saratoga convinces France to enter the war openly. Benjamin Franklin in Paris seals the alliance. French Navy, troops, money pour in. Spain and the Dutch follow indirectly. The revolution becomes a world war. Winter 1777–78 at Valley Forge. Washington's army starves, freezes, sickens. No shoes. Bloody footprints in the snow. Baron von Steuben arrives from Prussia, drills the men into a real army. Lafayette, the young French noble, becomes like a son to Washington. They endure, they train, they survive. Meanwhile, the home front fractures. It's a civil war too. Loyalists, maybe 20% of colonists, face tar and feathers, property seizure, exile. Families split, brother against brother. Native tribes divided. Some side with Britain for protection against settlers, others with Americans or stay neutral. Enslaved people flee to British lines. Lord Dunmore's promise of freedom draws thousands. Black soldiers fight on both sides. 1778–1780, stalemate in the north. British shift south. Capture Savannah, Charleston. Brutal guerrilla war in the Carolinas. Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox. Nathaniel Greene's brilliant strategy, wear down the enemy. Cowpens, 1781. Daniel Morgan's double envelopment crushes Tarleton's legion. Then Yorktown, 1781. Cornwallis fortifies in Virginia. Washington marches south with Rochambeau's French army. French fleet under de Grasse blocks Chesapeake Bay. Siege begins, October 1781. Bombardment. Redoubt stormed. Cornwallis surrenders, October 19th. Bands play, the world turned upside down. Britain's will breaks, peace talks drag. Finally, Treaty of Paris, September 3, 1783. Britain recognizes American independence. Borders to the Mississippi. Fishing rights off Newfoundland. But the real revolution, it's in the ideas. July 4, 1776, Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson's words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words ignite hope and contradiction. Women like Abigail Adams plead, remember the ladies. Enslaved people hear, all men, and wonder why not them. The seeds of abolition, suffrage, civil rights are planted here, even if it takes centuries to bloom. The war costs 25,000 American lives, out of 2.5 million people. Proportionally, deadlier than most U.S. wars. Towns burned, economies wrecked. Yet from the ashes rises a new nation, no king, no aristocracy, power from the consent of the governed. In 1787, the Constitution. In 1789, Washington becomes first president, voluntarily steps down after 2 terms. A peaceful transfer of power. Miracle. Today, when you vote, protest, speak freely, remember. None of it was guaranteed. Ordinary people, cold, hungry, scared, bet everything on an idea. They won. Against the odds. Against an empire. And because they did, the world got a chance to try something radical. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. The American Revolution wasn't perfect. It left unfinished business, slavery, inequality, native displacement. But it launched the experiment still running today. So next time you see fireworks on the 4th, or argue about rights, or stand up to power, know you're part of the story that started with one shot on a village green and echoes in every corner of the globe. This is the revolution that made us, and it's still making us.